What is the utility of that relationship? Are you having needs met reciprocally? Or is it a one-way street?
It's usually because they think it's what's best based on their life, their choices, their experiences that they're trying to put on us. Hey everybody, it's Bianca.
And this is Emilia.
And welcome to another episode of Evolve Ventures, where we are making evolution possible for growth-minded humans, just like every single one of you, through vulnerable lessons, stories, and technology. We hope you enjoyed our last episode, number 173, Motivation Monday, Is Your Relationship to Money Hurting You? We talked about all things money, how to make more money, how to make better decisions about money, and where does that relationship with money really come from? In today's episode, 174, are the people in your life supporting you for you or for them? And this is something that I know you and I have both struggled with a lot. In our personal lives, with our family and relationships. We've seen clients kind of go through this. And it's something that just too many of us go through. Like, how many of us have had someone say, I'm doing this because it's in your best interest? Or I'm saying this because I care about you. Or I'm saying this because, or I'm doing this because, I just want what's best for you. Probably all of us, right? At least once we've all had someone kind of say something like that to us. The challenge with that statement is that it's usually not true. And this is where a lot of us end up struggling and in pain. Because we know deep down, somewhere inside of us, that this person is telling me these things because of something they've experienced. Because of their own pain, because of their own challenges, because of their own whatever, maybe not really taking me into consideration. And this is really vulnerable for me. I've really struggled with this with my own family. And I'm sure all of us, our families are a big component of this for us. When I was coming out and when I was going through that entire time, my family growing up really said a lot of things about being gay, right? They're Middle Eastern, they're very Catholic, very, very traditional, old school family. And they always made statements like, being gay is bad, being gay is a sin. We want you to be happy. We want you to be this. We want you to be that. And you need to abide by our rules and do what we tell you to do so that you can be happy, so that you can be successful, so that you can be whatever. And those statements always came from their beliefs about what a happy life would be, what a successful life would be, what a meaningful life would be. And so when I came out to my family, they really struggled because they really believed I was doing something wrong. They really believed that trying to get me to not be gay anymore, or get me to not act on it, or get me to just believe what they had to say was what was best for me. And when that relationship ended and when they wanted me to come live back home, they really, I know in their heart, they really thought they were doing what was best for me and trying to get me to do what they thought and do what they wanted. But in none of that did they really ask me what I believed was best for me. What I wanted, what I thought was best for me. And this is where this comes up with so many of us, is the people in our lives, they really believe they know what's best for us. But they rarely ever ask us what it is that we really want. What would really make us happy? What would really make us feel good about ourselves, about the world, about other people, about anything like that? And it causes fights, and it causes pain, and it causes arguments, and it causes challenge because we're like, I don't want to do what you're telling me to do. That's not what's best for me. That's what's best for you of me. It benefits you if I do that thing, but it's not what's best for me. Like parents who want their kids to become doctors or lawyers or engineers or, high paying jobs, completely not even regarding what the kid wants. Or in relationships, right? If your partner is trying to convince you of something, not hearing what you have to say, but just telling you, no, I know this was best for you. I know this is good for you. And just do it because I'm telling you it. More often than not, when we hear these statements, it's almost never, because the person is actually considering us and what is best for us. It's usually because they think it's what's best, based on their life, their choices, their experiences that they're trying to put on us. And I know you've had countless experiences with this.
Yeah.
It's a woof and a half.
This is a woofer. And honestly, I'm not even excited for this episode, but I know it's going to be a good one as a result of that feeling. So hang in there with me. So this one, I think slightly has hit me in a angle that I maybe wasn't prepared for. And I think that that's a really good thing because like I said, there's some weird things emotionally going on for me. Even just looking at this episode and hearing your experience piece. So I appreciate you starting with vulnerability because I know that like you love your family so much.
I adore my family.
I know that you don't ever want to cause them pain. And I've seen and witnessed, firsthand the growth journey that you've been on in the last 3 years. And it's been really tough. And I know you and I have had firsthand seat to each other's growth and the challenges in that. And the last 3 years have been extremely painful emotionally for me as well in so many different regards, not only as like a bystander and as a support system for you, but also in my own personal development and evolution journey. When we went into COVID, I remember being the only one that was actually really excited about COVID to like have so much of solitude and so much of the excuse, if you will, and this might sound terrible, but the excuse to like not have to go to insert XYZ event that someone else believed we should go to. And I grew up very much having the events of my life kind of under the belief system of, well, we should go do this because of that. And it was really very much like an abundant reason, but it was cloaked scarcity. If we don't go there, then inserts how someone will negatively feel rather than because we want to help or do this or whatever, right? And what are your thoughts? Would you like to go here? Would you like to do that? So a lot of what I've, in reflection of the last 3 years, have experienced is that so many of the relationships in my life have been very much cultivated as a result of what everyone else benefits from by being on the train of growth that I personally am carving. And that's been really hard for me to reflect upon because like there's a part of me that's all for it. That's like, I know that part of my purpose is helping people grow and evolve. And part of it comes with that understanding that you have conducted a train that is so committed to a path that other people just don't have courage and belief in themselves and feel in the regard that have the discipline XYZ that you have. That's why part of your purpose is to help them cultivate that. And I've seen a large pattern with the people in my life and past relationships where, and family is definitely like a really sensitive topic because there's people that will benefit from all the things that you do, that you achieve. And it's really exciting for them to be able to talk about your achievements to other people. But yet when you're behind the scenes, how much are they actually interested in some of the things that you're doing? And I've experienced that a lot. You know, I can only count on maybe one hand how many conversations or questions I've received about my business, about how my clients are doing, about how my XYZ pursuits are. Now, granted, people are like, how are things going? So it's part of my responsibility to show up to the table. But like, there is this thing where all of us probably have run into this in one way, shape, or form or another, where we realize people are benefiting off of our growth, but they're not necessarily exchanging that benefit for support in the way that you need it. And here's what I find all the time, where people will support you for you and the benefits that they receive, but yet there's not really a conversation around how that should be a reciprocal relationship. You know, and what I mean by this is like, how can I support you? What do you believe is best for you? You know, instead of infringing upon it with your own belief systems and projection. And granted, like, I'm the first one to say I have done this so much in my past, unconsciously and unintentionally. You know, if I look at some of my relationships, I've been very much all projecting of my belief system and thinking that I know what's best for people, unintentionally projecting what I believe is best for them without even asking that question. Like, what do you believe is best for you? Right? Because maybe I might benefit by some regard, right? Though those experiences have been very far and few between. I've always been on the other end of that, more so where other people are benefiting. And I'm okay to an extent with that. Like, I think that we oftentimes aren't analyzing the relationships and how much are we courageously communicating what you need. And I remember I'm going back to kind of like several moments where like I'll have people introduce me, you know, like whenever I'm in like a social setting and we're meeting someone, it's always interesting to see how someone introduces you to whoever this person or friend is, because they'll show all of the amazing accolades that all like they recognize that you've done or accomplished or whatever that's benefiting them to look good in front of that person. But yet I've never had someone ask me, that same person ask me, you know, what made you do this, or be curious to any regard, or I'm so proud of you for doing this. And it's just interesting to see how much that is in this magnificent growth journey that I think we all embark upon, and how honestly that's where the lonely components can really start to come in. So I mean, in this episode in real time, I'm just reflecting on how I can do a better job at that when it comes to exploring the relationships that I have and the depth of that. And yeah, it's just an interesting topic. You know, who's in your life and why are they in your life? We had an episode about utility, right? Like, what is the utility of that relationship? Are you having needs met reciprocally, or is it a one-way street? You know, and if it's that one-way street, is that really, I don't know. I think of like the anchors and the crabs in the bucket analogy. You know, if someone's just benefiting from your growth, but not actually contributing to it or not supporting it, right? I come from a growth paradigm. So I'm like, cut them off. I'm more like the gardener that snips the leaf right when it starts to show there's a sign of sickness. I'm like, all right, let's snip it, you know, but what is that for you? And for every single person that's joining on this episode today, like, you're at a different part of your growth journey, right? You're at a different part of your evolution, and you get to reflect upon this topic based on your personal experiences. And maybe there are people that are in your life that have been so supportive for you, irrespective of the benefit that comes their way. Who are those people? And how are you really like celebrating those relationships to kind of flip this into a positive light too? Because, you know, I can count on one hand, there's been people that have been really supportive, regardless of how my accolades or accomplishments or whatever has benefited them. They've been so supportive and such advocates. And like, now that I think about it, it's like, those are probably the ones that have gotten the less attention, if you will, or investment, you know? And it's an interesting dichotomy, if you will.
This one rocked you. I see you and I love you.
Well, you know what's funny? Thanks, B. I love you too. My girl. We did an IG live on this too. And how like quick it is we want to help people so bad because we wish that there was someone there for us. when we were going through tough times, right? So we have developed this like wanting to help people so much that we get so excited when someone asks us for help in something. And it's like, all right, well, when we extend that helping hand, how is that, like, what's happening after that? I was on a coaching call earlier today, and we were talking about when you start to be a leader and a guide, how so many people are bidding for your time and attention, for your guidance, for your advice, all that jazz, which is very challenging. It's an amazing experience to have, but it's also very challenging because you have to be extremely discerning with who you pour that time, that energy into. And a lot of people take that personally. A lot of people internalize that and make up a story about how much you hate them or how much you don't like them, or insert that. And that's really, really hard. But to not be discerning is, a whole different conversation when you are supporting people that are helping you be super aligned and super happy and super fulfilled. Yeah.
A lot of people will stay in your life and will continue to like celebrate you until what you do negatively impacts them.
Yeah.
Whether it negatively impacts the beliefs that they hold, or whether it negatively impacts how they see your relationship, or in so many different ways, right? Even if what you're doing doesn't directly impact them, right? So like me being gay negatively impacted my parents because of what they believed it meant.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm happy as hell, right? Like I'm fully expressed and I'm doing great, and nothing that I do directly impacted them at the time, but because of their beliefs, because of their culture and all of that stuff, it was a negative. What about that for you? How many of your friends are there until times are hard? How many of the people in your life are, supporting you and there for you and benefiting you, but only when it benefits them, or only when they get something good out of it, or as long as it doesn't, negatively impact them in any way?
Or when you're in misery. I've found like people will stick around and be so happy that you're in misery, right? That when you actually start to grow and you actually start to get busy and you actually start to have purpose and find alignment and find that you vehemently love your life, and it just so happens to take away from that relationship from a time perspective, how many people dip, how many people create you as the villain in their life, versus those people that stick around and are like, you know what? I am so happy for you. You go and get that. I can literally count on one hand those people in my life. Those are my gemstones.
My entire last relationship. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, damn, I'm called out.
That I'm not even saying you be like.
No, I know, but I'm laughing because of that. Because it's just like,
it's comical, right?
Yikes.
Yeah, misery. Okay, one of my favorite quotes that I've created was, "Misery loves company. Excellence loves solitude." Wow, I butchered that. Misery loves company, right? Because it's a lot easier to bitch and moan about your life than to do anything about it and have to reflect and actually face all the crap that you have, and grow through that and become a better human as a result of that. That's a lot harder. But yeah, we're all in that with you. If you're in this growth journey with us, we are with you, my friends, because you are not alone. And that's, I think, the biggest thing that I want to say in this episode as we wrap up.
Episode suggestion?
My episode suggestion for this gal is 132. Who are you letting into your space? If there's one lesson I've learned in the last 4 years, is how much I always heard that message of like, you are the sum average of the 5 people that you spend your life with or spend the most time with, and how discerning you got to be with that. And it's like, yeah. You don't realize how much people influence you, and you don't realize how much that flies beyond, like underneath the radar. And sometimes the people that you have learned to love the most are actually the ones that should have never been let into your space, but you didn't have that choice. So I think that's a great conversation. B, how about you? Yeah, this was a woofer.
Woof. 158. Is your environment helping or hurting you? Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you so much to everyone for listening. We know this was a hefty one. But I know this is a conversation that so many of us needed to hear, and there is a way out of it. You know, there is hope. There is a way to have incredible relationships with incredible people who really do want what's best for you. And, you know, I know with 100% certainty that Evolve Ventures and Evolve Ventures Society and Evolve Ventures group coaching and all of this stuff, the community that we're building, it really is that. It's people who genuinely want what's best for you. It's people who genuinely want what's best for themselves, and they're not going to, you know, be negatively impacted by your choices for your life and your happiness, right? They're going to cheer you on. And so if you've struggled with this in your life, I know with certainty Evolve Venture Society can be that breath of fresh air for you. And group coaching and all of the amazing things that we have coming down the pipeline. Plus, you know, we got some swaggy swag.
What's she wearing?
That's coming.
She's looking
You see
so
the Evolve
good.
Ventures water bottle in the background. I got my Evolve Ventures t-shirt on. I got all the stuff. So if you want Evolve Ventures swaggy swag, that's going to be coming down the pipeline within the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that.
So exciting.
Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.